News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Monica Ricks. Venezuela's Supreme Court has named Vice President Delcy Rodriguez as acting president following Nicolás Maduro's capture. But President Trump tells The Atlantic if Rodriguez doesn't do the right thing, she could, quote, pay a very big price, probably bigger than Maduro, who's now in jail in New York. He's set to make his first court appearance on Monday. Trump made it clear he won't stand for the acting president's rejection of a U.S. intervention and signaled he could do the same in Greenland next, which is part of NATO ally Denmark.
We have tremendous energy in that country. It's very important that we protect it. We need that for ourselves. We need that for the world.
Rodriguez has said the country's ready to defend its natural resources. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is defending the mission to capture Maduro and answered why the president didn't inform Congress of his plans.
It wasn't necessary because this is not an invasion. We didn't occupy a country. This was an arrest operation. This was a law enforcement operation.
Secretary Rubio on ABC's This Week, he says they couldn't risk plans getting leaked. Caribbean airspace is back open today, but air travel could still be tricky. Here's Bloomberg's Ed Kalegi.
Vacation hotspots such as Barbados, Aruba, Puerto Rico, Antigua, and Barbuda, and Trinidad and Tobago saw hundreds of flight cancellations Saturday after the U.S. restricted airspace in the region. Puerto Rico's tourism authority said the island's airspace was closed by the FAA around 2 a.m. Saturday, and at least 360 flights have been canceled so far. U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy said in a statement on X the airspace restrictions would be lifted when appropriate. Ed Kalegi, Bloomberg Radio.
OPEC Plus confirms it's keeping production increases paused during the first quarter. Delegates held their monthly video conference today to review the decision, which was first made back in November to ease supply hikes. The group says their policy is unaffected by escalating risks in Venezuela or ongoing tensions between Saudi Arabia and Yemen. North Korea has launched a ballistic missile into the sea. That's according to South Korea's military, which confirms the missile launch off the North's east coast happened early this morning. It's the latest weapons display by North Korea ahead of its upcoming ruling Workers' Party Congress. It also tested long-range strategic cruise missiles last week. A mass was held today for the victims of the Swiss ski resort that killed 40 people, followed by a march to the site where it happened.
It was an enormous tragedy.
Swiss Justice Minister Beat Jahn says victims are still being identified, but many could be teenagers. The town's drinking age is 16. Meantime, 2 managers of the nightclub are now under criminal investigation. Prosecutors say they're suspected of killing by negligence, causing bodily harm, and arson. They say sparklers on champagne bottles were likely held too close to the ceiling during New Year's celebrations. Most automakers report December and full year 2025 U.S. sales totals tomorrow, and Bloomberg Intelligence expects to see a modest uptick from sales in November, likely dampened by the government shutdown. Dealers also typically offer incentives at the end of the year to close out model year inventory, which could give sales an extra boost. The labor market is also in focus as we enter the first full week of trading in 2026. Bloomberg's Karen Moscow has a closer look at the economic calendar.
It all begins Monday with the ISM Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index, which may have gotten some support from its employment sub-index, according to Bloomberg Economics. We'll get a look at private payrolls from ADP on Wednesday, as well as the JOLTS jobs report, U.S. factory orders, and ISM services. Thursday is the weekly report on initial jobless claims, as well as wholesale inventories. And Friday, it's the December jobs report. We'll also get consumer sentiment and housing starts. Karen Moscow, Bloomberg Radio.
And New York's iconic MetroCard is getting a second swipe at life now. The fare card's officially retired in 2025 as the MTA switched to a touchless Omni payment system, but now they're popping up on resale sites like eBay and going for hundreds and thousands of dollars. Sellers are banking on nostalgia and a growing collectibles market, but a lot of New Yorkers weren't even using MetroCards anymore by the time they went away. By December, the MTA says 94% of trips were made using Omni. And that's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Monica Ricks, and this is Bloomberg.